Hello, good morning, and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Klenam Radio, Bato, Gaskia FM, Techiman, and Radio Wa, Get Radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, in our series on dialysis crisis, mother of 16-year-old girl who died some days after she was featured on Joy News pleading for support with her treatment appeals to government to make dialysis affordable and accessible to all.
Every week, I was paying more than 1,000 Ghana cedis on dialysis and her medication. I'm on my knees, begging government to intervene.
We'll also bring you the inspiring story of Jocelyn Yaokoma, a resilient breast cancer survivor who's using her story to encourage other cancer patients.
At a point, I was depressed. I gave up on myself. I locked myself in the room. I refused to go out.
More as the world commemorates Breast Cancer Awareness Month this October. In business, World Bank warns inflation could go up by a significant margin in Ghana by end of this year, higher than the 54.1% recorded in 2022. And later in the bulletin, 7 private schools talk tough as they get special invitation into the National Science and Maths Quiz competition.
You know, even with the fear, we were able to overcome. How about without the fear? No, you don't find them as threat.
Expect from us a showdown one. We will give everybody a mind-blowing competition.
Well, we are glad that you've joined us, your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I am Hannah Odami with the details. Mother of the 60-year-old girl who died some days after she was featured in our dialysis crisis series, pleading for support with her treatment, is now appealing to government to make dialysis affordable to all. The deceased mother, Ruth Ofori, says she still owes a lot of people, although her daughter is now dead. Before we hear from her, let's recap the interview that Richard Kojonyako had with Priscilla some days before her death.
The doctors told me I have to be on the machine, and I have to be on that machine either twice or thrice a week. My mom and dad do not have money either. We have become miserable. I am appealing to the government to help me live through this. Otherwise, I may die.
Well, Priscilla could not live through it. She didn't get the needed help and she died. Her mother, Ruth Ofori, is asking government to make dialysis affordable and accessible to all.
I have to let the government know people like me who do not have the financial strength are suffering. Every week, I was paying more than 1,000 Ghana cedis on dialysis and her medication. I'm on my knees, begging government to intervene and subsidize the cost of dialysis so that people like me can pay.
Headmaster of the Mampong Catholic A Basic School, where the deceased was a student, Francis Ampon, says her death is a big blow to the school.
She was very good in academics. The subject that she liked very much is science and mathematics. She also participates in sporting activities in the school, and she is friendly. She is punctual, respectful, and very calm. So it is a blow to Mampong Catholic A and the entire teachers.
Well, at 5 p.m. today, we have the Joy News Thought Leadership event on the dialysis crisis. We have assembled all the major stakeholders for the big conversation, which will be live on the Joy News channel as well as on your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM. We stay on health, this time on Jocelyn Yaokoma, a resilient breast cancer survivor who grappled with depression during her chemotherapy journey. It was the unwavering love and support of her children that became became her beacon of strength, inspiring her not to only persevere, but also to extend a helping hand to others in similar situation. Today, Jocelyn has founded the Sunflower Breast Cancer Support Group, where she uses her own story to uplift and empower fellow fighters.
The changes I had was just like I had aged like 20 years my age. My whole hair was gone. At a point I was depressed. I gave up on myself. I locked myself in the room. I refused to go out. And I just heard this voice that was like, so even if you die, why lock up yourself in the room and leave your kids out there? If it's 1 hour, why won't you have that moment with them so that they can cherish that moment? Back in Kolebo, every Tuesday and then Thursday, I go to the surgical chemo unit and I share my story to encourage them that I've been through it. They should look at the transformation before and after, and that there is hope.
You heard there Jocelyn Yaokoma sharing her survival story with Enimwa Enim Adu on Strong and Sassy. We move on, and the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, says it is surprised political parties that sued the Electoral Commission over the limited registration exercise subtly endorsed the Commission's conduct of the just-ended exercise. A number of opposition parties, including the National Democratic Congress, sued the AC, claiming the Commission's refusal to decentralize the process will disenfranchise eligible voters. Speaking to Joy News, Deputy EC Chair in charge of Electoral Services, Dr. Sribo Kweku, said, contrary to earlier agitations, the parties were rather left impressed at how the Commission exceeded its voters' registration target.
We will see, and for now, when we met the parties and the rest, nobody complained.
Today?
Yes.
In the IPAC meeting?
Yes.
None of the parties complained?
None. Those who
but the parties that were in IPAC, even without the NDC, some of them said what?
Some are already in the court. But when we met, to me, and I could call a lot of I wouldn't be mentioned the news. They all agree that a good job has been done.
Well, the national coordinator of CODEO, Albert Ahin, says he was shocked the political parties present failed to vent their frustrations, considering the challenges that fraught the process.
And I was amazed that, with all these problems that they had, and at a point in time, they were even buying food and giving them transportation, because sometimes the people get to these registration centers, they are not able to register, and they have to sleep and come back the following day. So they were bearing all these costs. And I was amazed that nobody was able to say anything about this, and rather acquiesced that, this thing went on well, and when Mr. Kweku was talking, they were sitting there, and I was surprised.
Moving on, the minority in Parliament has filed a motion for a bipartisan parliamentary inquiry into the award of a contract of Frontiers Healthcare Services Limited for coronavirus testing at the Kotoka International Airport by government. This follows the RTI Commission's imposition of a 200,000 fine on the Ghana Airport Company Limited for its failure to release information requested by Joy News last year. Speaking to Raymond Akwa on Upfront, ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, who revealed this, explained the Frontiers appears to be engaged in a lot more routes at the airports.
Ghana Airport Company Limited belongs to all of us. And see how you are conducting yourself. Going to the end of the world to prevent information from being made available to the people.
On that matter, can you take up in Parliament?
Yes, I can confirm to you that we have filed a motion. We are asking for a full-scale inquiry, a parliamentary probe. Because, look, too much money that has gone into wrong pocket. And the lessons must be learned. There has to be reforms. And people must be punished.
You heard the ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. In 2018, they caused the sun to set on the Aketeches of Opokuwari School, defeating them to qualify to the 1/8 stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz competition. Sunrise Christian Senior High School is back into the competition with 6 other private schools, while Emmanuel Bright Kweku has been interacting with some of the contestants who promised to cause greater upsets this year.
Sunrise, ethanoic acid, exhibits the same molar unit in the vapor phase as in an aqueous phase.
False.
It's false.
Over the years, the whole Bay School has proven their worth in the competition after toppling the likes of Holy Child School and Kumasi High School in 2021. This year's contestants could be no different as they promise a mind-blowing showdown.
For this competition, we are taking each competition one after the other. And for our first competition, we expect from us a showdown one. We will give everybody a mind-blowing competition.
We work for excellence.
Having traveled all the way from the Upper West region, Louis Rutten and Region Troppen are ready to make history.
We're going to be meeting Wesley girls in your category. How do you see that?
And Emmanuel Bright Quick will be bringing us more from the camp of the NSMQ on all our platforms. But that's it for the news at 6 this morning with me, Hannah Odami. You can find more stories on myjoyonline.com. Have a great morning.